record, and then I am going to share my screen. All right, good morning. We are at week 3. Can you guys believe it? This is amazing. And you know, it's been really fun for me just to go over the basic things. I just moved out to Kansas City this last weekend on Saturday, and I am doing these exact same things. And I'm, as I was reading through the section on inviting this morning, of course it's something I've been doing for 6 years, but I was just brushing up and reading the brochure just because, honestly, I'm always looking for new tips and great ways to do it. And so I was just looking through it, and I just, even my heart starts pounding like, oh, I've got to get out and start sharing this with people. It's great, but it does make me nervous sometimes, because there's always that fear of rejection. But I still do it because honestly, I'm not about to let anybody else control my success. I'm in charge of my success. And so, I'm always working on getting over those fears, the things that make you nervous. What if somebody tells you no? What if they're going to think I'm just like everyone else who does a network marketing company? So, I'm always working through those things. But at the end of the day, I realized, what? I love these essential oils. And my little boy, I think I told you last week, he literally bit through his lip. His teeth went in right here, where my finger is, and came out the bottom and was bleeding super bad. And we put helichrysum on it, immediately stopped the bleeding. And then not only that, he hardly has any scarring. Like 3 days later, I couldn't even see where it was. So it's really nice to be able to know that I have a tool to help. And so then that helps me to overcome my fear, is that we have such a great product and such a great, business opportunity. So makes it a little bit easier for me. All right, so we're on week 3, and it has been so much fun to do the first 2 weeks. So I want to know if you guys planned out your October, because last week you filled out your elite planner. You're figuring out when your classes were, which I loved. It was so much fun to see, the different classes that everybody's doing. I love that you guys are all doing so many open houses for your team, or where you're showing the new products, because I think that's amazing. People have been waiting for a year for new products, and so they get so excited for them. So it's been fun to see that on your schedule, but make sure that you have your October set. I like the saying succeed or, fail to plan, then plan to fail, but I like succeed to plan, then plan to succeed even better, because that sounds more positive. So really, I want you guys to succeed in planning so that you can plan to succeed in your business. I really want, to rock this business, because it's such an empowering feeling to set goals and make it work. It's such an empowering feeling to say, what, this is what I'm going to accomplish this month. This is how many classes I'm going to do. This is the things I'm going to do. And then actually have it happen is a good feeling. I set a goal in June of 2012 that I was going to hit diamond, and I was hoping that would be the month I had my twins. It was a little bit of a crapshoot, because you never know if twins, I didn't know if they would come 2 weeks early. I didn't know if they would come 8 weeks early, but my best guess was that they would come in June. And so I did everything in my power to hit diamond in June, because I thought, what, heck, if I hit diamond and they don't have my babies, if I don't have my babies this month, it's okay. I'm not going to be disappointed, but it was a fun thing to be able to say that I hit diamond the month I had my twins. And it's even more fun to say I hit blue diamond having a set of twins, because when I was pregnant with my twins, it was much easier because I was pregnant with them. They were contained. They weren't screaming at me. I could actually work. So actually having twins and hitting blue diamond was huge. But it was a huge goal of mine to hit diamond the month I had my twins. And I had to plan that out. It wasn't just like on a whim that it happened. Like I planned things out, and then I knew where I needed extra volume on my team. And so I was doing a ton of classes, and I was working with my really awesome builders. So really I made a plan to succeed, and then, and it happened. So make sure that you have your October set. How many classes are you going to be doing? And then did you get your business hours set? That is huge. When are you going to be working? We just moved on Saturday, and yesterday I'm not on my normal schedule right now, because right now I'm getting my kids, and their first day of preschool was today. My older daughter's first day of elementary school was yesterday. I'm going to the store, getting groceries, getting stuff for my kitchen, getting stuff for my house, and I'm not able to do my normal business hours, and it is really throwing me off. And I find myself scrambling and feeling frantic, like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this done. So having those set hours and having a schedule is huge. Even if you're not somebody who likes a schedule, it will make a huge difference in your business. So I just want to know, if you guys are truly ready to succeed. And no, really, are you really ready? Because this isn't just about saying, yeah, I'm all in. Like, are you really all in? Are you really wanting to do this? And are you really going to do what it takes to succeed? So make sure that you are planning for success. All right. So, oops, I took out the wrong slide. I didn't take out the right slide. So you created a names list of 100 people this last week, which is awesome. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the launch guide to use your names list effectively. So I'm going to go to the launch guide if I can find it. You guys know me, I fumble around on my computer every single week. Where is it at? Okay, so I love this. I love the idea of refining your prospects. So you prepared your name, your list of 100 people. And then I am the most uptight, laid back person you'll ever meet. I'm the most type A, type B personality you'll ever meet. There are things about me that are extremely organized, and then there are things about me that are extremely laid back. So this really appeals to my organizing side. Like, I love this when I think about like organizing my contacts list. So when you look at your names list, you want to figure out who, like what role might fit each prospect. And remember, this is not set in stone, and you will be surprised. You will be taken by surprise. Sometimes you know what, that person's a builder. They're going to rock this business. It's going to be awesome. And then you'll have people that are like, oh, they would never build, and they actually might build. So what I want you to do is just go through and you put your stars, and you can, sorry, they just changed the launch guide, so I'm still getting used to it. So what you're going to do is you are going to categorize your contacts, and you are going to figure out who would be a good customer, who needs solutions and or is into health, fitness, green living, etc. Everybody needs oils. So you can write down everybody that you know. Who might be a good sharer? And the difference between a customer, sharer, and a builder, and sometimes we make the mistake, and we'll talk about this more later, is considering a builder or a sharer a builder. Just because somebody will host a class does not mean they're a builder. So we need to think, a builder is somebody who comes to me and tells me, you know what, I want to build this business. I'm ready to fully commit. I want to do this. That's a builder. We want to make sure that we never label someone as a builder when they're not. Now, we're prospecting right now of who we want to do this, but just because we want them to be a builder doesn't mean they truly will be a builder. And so that's important when you're structuring later on and as you're developing your teams. But for now, I want you to think, okay, who would be a great user? And then who would be a great share? Like, who do you think would host a class for me? We all have friends that love to host classes, everybody, or a party, for different companies. Everyone likes to come over. It's just fun. So think about those people and think, who would host an awesome class? Who knows a lot of people? Who loves oils? Who loves gifts? Because we can do an incentive for someone to host, right? And some people love a free gift. And then who do you want to build with? What I love about doTERRA is that my business partners are the people that I have chosen to work with. I put people on my front line who are dedicated, committed, want to do this, and people that I like. Now, if you're not on my front line, that doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means, I only have room for 6 people. And, as my builders come to me, it's like they literally come to me. I know who they are. I know who needs to be on my front line. And I'm super excited to have them in that spot. So, I put people on my front line who I'm like, I want to do life with these people. These are the people I want to be on incentive trips with. These are people that I want to hang out with at leadership. These are the people I want to hang out with at convention. Like, you get to choose your business partners, which is totally amazing. Again, no one be, and there's many people I'd love to have on my front line, but sometimes I share builders and put them on my builders front line. So the idea is you are picking who you want to work with. It is so much fun to choose who you're going into business with. So this allows you're going to identify your builder prospects. So I like that we're going to use this little tally system. So look at all those who you checked with green stars. To further identify qualities as a potential builder, place a tally mark next to the names with each of the qualities below. This way you can more effectively recognize who has higher capacity for success with the doTERRA business opportunity. So if you have somebody written down and they're relationship oriented, they're well connected, they're influential, everybody likes them, put a check mark. If they're open to a natural lifestyle, put a check mark. So for me, like a doula, my midwife already did doTERRA, but like those are people who love oils. If you know that your neighbor likes home birth, that is someone who loves natural lifestyle. They're going to be passionate about it. An achiever, doer, a goal-oriented person, someone who's ambitious, passionate, positive, passionate, motivating, inspiring, and abundance mindset. I want people who You know, like my builders are people who are not afraid of making money, who realize, you know what, there's tons of room to grow. You know, sometimes I have conversations with people who are like, well, everybody I know does doTERRA. Well, when you buy a blue car, a blue minivan, you're going to all of a sudden notice everybody has a blue minivan. But realize most people really don't. Most people still, even in the state of Utah, do not do doTERRA. So I love working with those that have an abundance mindset that's like, oh my gosh, they do doTERRA. That is so awesome. I'm so glad there's somebody else out there. We're going to find more people together this way. Purpose, mission-driven, service-oriented, or a giver. Entrepreneurial, experienced in sales, established niche. So you might have somebody who's a massage therapist, or somebody, again, who's a doula, somebody who is an esthetician, somebody who does hair, somebody who you might have like a connection in a certain industry or a field. And then and then there's the phase of life that supports building a business. I truly believe that every phase of life is conducive to building a business. I was driving to Missouri on Friday. I'm driving on Friday. And I received two of the text messages I received. The first one was, the person was feeling bad because they felt like, like their friends were making excuses. If they had kids, they couldn't build the business. And they were like, I feel like people look at me because I don't have kids and think you can do this because you don't have kids. But if you have kids, this isn't possible. Literally 6 hours later, I received a text message from another person that said, this business would be so much easier if I had kids. And I just had to laugh, not at the people that text me those messages, but realizing that anybody can do this. And sometimes it feels like what's on the other side of the fence, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And that's not necessarily the case. Yes, there are benefits to having kids, and there are great benefits to not having kids. But anybody can do this business. And one thing I love about being at convention is seeing the different diamonds. Like, honestly, there are diamonds with bright blue hair. I love it. There are diamonds like me who have to hire somebody to dress them so that they look decent. There are diamonds who have 10 kids and homeschool. There are diamonds that are single. There are diamonds who are great at network marketing or online social media. There are diamonds who have never done this business before. Like, there are diamonds that are stick thin. There are diamonds who are pleasantly plump. And I don't mean to be offensive, but the point is there is no shape or size or personality like fit for a diamond. So it's so much fun to see all the different types of people that can succeed. So whether or not you're working full time, have kids, where you live, you can be successful with this business. So I don't want you to cross people off as being able to build, because you might say, oh, well, they have kids. Great. I have kids too. Or they live in such and such place. You know what? They can still succeed at this. So now you're going to transfer your top prospects to the success tracker. And the success tracker is right here. So you're going to write names about them, and you're going to track as you go. So as you share, you're going to mark it off. As you invite, you're going to mark it off. As you remind, you're going to mark it off. As you present to them, so either they come to a class or one-on-one, you're going to check it off. And then as you follow up, you're going to check it off, enroll. And then the lifestyle overview is the wellness consults. And then the business overview is obviously the business overview. And then if they decide they want, and you're moving them through the pipe, as you'll notice, which is really awesome. So you're preparing, inviting, or presenting, enrolling, and then supporting. So you can literally track this builder all the way through. And most people won't be builders, and that's okay. But if they are, you can track this. What I love about this is it also allows you to figure out if you're getting stuck in a certain area. So let's say that you're sharing with tons of people and you're never even getting to the point where they're coming to a presentation. We need to figure out what's going on. So this is a great conversation to have with your mentor is, well, what's going on? Why is this person I'm sharing with, I'm sharing with 45 people, but yet nobody's actually showing up. Why is that? So we can figure that out, what's going on there. Or maybe you're presenting to a ton of people. You've presented to 20 people and you have no enrollments. We can go through and figure out what's going on with your class, to what we can do to sharpen up your presentation skills. Or maybe you are getting tons of people enrolled. Nobody's doing LRP or nobody's doing the business. So, and a lot of times that's super easy to identify because people will tell me, but I really don't bring up the business. Well, there you go. So this will allow you to track and figure out, have patterns to see where it is that you're getting stuck. So this will be a great place to put your contacts. All right, so now we're going to focus on sharing. So we've written these people down. we need to start sharing with them. So first of all, do you have your samples ready? Because that is going to be huge. It is much easier to share a sample that you have with you than when you don't have a sample with you. And for me, when I have samples with me, it's always a reminder to open my mouth and talk about essential oils. So I have samples in my diaper bag, and I see it all the time. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to look for opportunity to share these essential oils with people. And I always have oils with me in general. So, and I'm using them all the time with people. So, or in front of people, which is huge because I'll get asked, oh, what is that? Or, I think my mom uses oils, and I'll be like, oh, that's so great. Have you ever tried them yourself? It always brings up conversations when people see you putting on your oils. So make sure you have your oils with you and you're using them in front of people, not because you're being obnoxious, just because, people ask questions. I just dropped my twins off at preschool and they had to have sleep mats. I didn't even know what those were. So they take naps at school, and I went up and asked one of the moms, so you have this really cool bag that you put the sleep mat in. Where did you get that? I'm glad somebody had a bag out so that I could see, so I could ask a question. So do that same thing with your oils. Be using them so that people can ask you questions about what that is. Like I said, make sure you have your samples ready. I always have samples with me. And the key is with giving out samples is you want to give out things that people can get immediate results from. So basically, you don't want to give out things like Slim and Sassy. You don't want, if you're giving it for weight loss, you don't want to give it. I wish that I could take 20 drops of Slim and Sassy and lose the little bit of weight that I want to lose. That would be amazing. But the truth of it is, it takes more than 10 drops. So I have a fan blowing on me and my throat's getting all dry. But it takes more than 20 drops of Slim and Sassy. So I don't want to give that to someone because I don't want them to be like, well, I used it and it didn't work. So I like to give out Digestin because immediately you're like, oh, totally helped my stomach. Or past tense is great because it's like, man, that headache, it's totally gone. Or Breathe is amazing because it's like, oh my goodness, my respiratory system, it's functioning properly, or my sinuses are clear. That's amazing. So I like that one. Lemon, lavender, peppermint are always good ones. I'll even give out On Guard because people are like, oh, that tickle in my throat, it's totally gone. So I always give out samples that I like to do samples that are not more than, the bottle of oil is not more than $30. I really, I used to give out, I've given out samples of frankincense and helichrysum, and you can give those out, but I like to charge people for them just so they realize what they have. I gave a sample of helichrysum to someone when I first started doing doTERRA, and I actually had a little bit to share. And I checked in with her like a week later, and she's like, oh, I'm not sure what I did with that. And I'm like, that was a $20 sample and you don't even know where it is. So make sure that you are giving out things that you don't want to give out of something that someone is not going to be able to appreciate. Now, if you really are like, you know what, you need a sample of helichrysum. Those bloody noses are out of control. I feel so bad, and I know you want some help. Well, I would never tell someone their bloody noses were out of control, but you get the idea. Like if someone is having them all the time, you could give them a sample and just say, hey, you know what? I have an essential oil that will help. I know it's a little bit, more expensive when it comes to essential oils. So I'd love to just give you a bottle at my cost, like a few drops at my cost so that you can try it out. I've done that so that people can try a bottle of helichrysum without spending the $75. But make sure you're doing, like your Digestin, your Breathe, past tense, On Guard, lemon, lavender, peppermint, wild orange is good. Balance is great. Anything for something that's going to help someone's mood. Or give them two of the Serenity Sleep Complex. That's amazing. In fact, I've seen a lot of people, I saw one builder in particular, she literally took her entire bottle and she divided it out into samples. And I'm not sure, and I'm sure it's going absolutely amazing. I haven't talked to her specific about how that's going, but I saw a lot of interest. And I've also seen a lot of people mention how well that sleep complex is working. So that could be a great thing to sample out. People need sleep. So what can people see instant results from, and share those samples? That's not to say doTERRA is not amazing at long-term, supporting your long-term health, but it takes more than just a few drops. Okay, so do you have your samples ready? Do you have your samples with you? Because that's huge. It doesn't help if they're not with you. So when it comes to sharing, I like this part of the guide where it talks about natural sharing is what I think they call it. Sharing naturally. So for me, there are times that you need to create connection first and not just go to people and say, hey, do you want to try this out? people know, a lot of people know that I do well with network marketing, that I've been successful with doTERRA. And, you know, I have a lot of people that think, oh, well, maybe she'll do my business now too. And so I get hit up by a lot of people, and it's not very effective when you come to me and say, you know, try to sell me your product right away without even talking to me or seeing how I'm doing, or even seeing if there's a need in the first place. Because then I just feel like I'm just someone on your names list. You're not even going to take time and connect with me. You just want to throw something at me, and you don't even know if I need it. We haven't even talked in 5 years. So I think it's so important. If you want to share an oil with someone you haven't talked to in a while, that's awesome. I do it all the time. But I like to have it be a naturally occurring share where it's not just all of a sudden, hey, you know what? Here, try this essential oil. You know, I was talking to my dad the other day, and he was telling me, you know, my dad had polio as a baby, and he has some people that come to him, and he's like, they have tried to share upwards of 20 products with me, you know, and he's like, it's great, and I appreciate it, but they don't even ask me how I'm doing. I know they just think, oh, he's handicapped. He needs X, Y, Z. So make sure that you're doing things effective and naturally. So if you want to share with your friend Sarah that lives in Australia, that's awesome. Check in with her, see how she's doing, see how life is. And, you know, for me, I always ask them questions that I want them to ask me back. I want people to ask if I'm working or what I'm doing for work. So I'll say, you know, hey, how's Australia? How's that going? And, you know, just chat, you know, small chit chat. And then, you know, I'll ask them, you know, are you working out there? And yeah, I'm working. And are you working? And then that's when I'll say, yes, I teach classes on essential oils. And boom, there you have a conversation right then and there about essential oils and they're the ones that ask you. So if you want a question asked, ask them the question first, because usually people turn around and ask you that same question. Sometimes they don't, and that's okay, but usually they do. If you ask somebody if they work, usually they will ask you if you work. And that's when you need to have a script that you like to use. Like, you know, for me, I like to tell people I teach essential oil classes. You know, other people might like to say I sell essential oils. I know Justin Harrison likes to say that he is the CEO of his own company. But you need to pick something that you feel confident saying and that feels natural to you and that will allow you to just have an open conversation about what it is that you do. So reconnect like crazy, or make connections like crazy. I went to a apple farm yesterday, and you know, I did not just take 20 samples with me and hand them out. Hi, I'm Jen. Here's a sample of oil. Hi, I'm Jen. No, I didn't do that. I want to get out there and I want to make friends and connect with people very quickly. Now, I'm a chatterbox, so people are going to find out very quickly that I do doTERRA as a business. And you know, when they're like, "Oh, doTERRA," first thing I'll say is, "Oh, have you ever tried it before?" You know, I keep it natural. I keep it friendly. I keep it lighthearted. And sometimes there's people that I'm like, you know what, I need to establish more of a connection first before just bombarding them and trying to hand them a sample. So, you know, it is important to really take the time to create and nurture relationships as you begin to share. And I love this, nurture relationship until the timing is right to ask about health priorities and share samples. Show up to serve, then others will naturally want what you have to offer. So I love that. So let the timing be right, but sometimes you can move it along a little bit just by asking them questions that you want answered. So more oil shared means more presentations, which means more enrollments, and more enrollments means more builders, and more builders means that you're achieving your dreams and your goals, which is awesome. So when and where to share? I share everywhere. I have talked to people in the line at the grocery store. I've talked to people at the line at the post office. I've enrolled people that I've met on airplanes before. In fact, I met a guy on this airplane. I was flying, I don't remember where I was flying from, but I was flying to Salt Lake, I know that. And he was like, you know, this sounds like a really cool business. My wife would be awesome at it. Well, she signed up with a natural solutions kit and she has done LRP every month since. And that was 2 years ago. So that was just from talking to some gentleman on an airplane at a gym class. Like, if you want to find more people to share with, think about ways to make more friends. Because whenever I move somewhere or wherever I go somewhere, I sign people up. And when I sign people up, I have people that want to build the business. And for me, I don't look at people like, you're an oil prospect or you're a builder prospect. I look at people like, you're a friend. And then people want to do what I do. A lot of times they want my lifestyle. They want to create what I have, whether it's health, whether it's financially. So, I put myself out there so people are seeing what I'm doing and they want that. So live a lifestyle that people want to live, so people will want to do what you're doing. But this is just a list of people that you can share with. Making sure that you guys can hear me okay. How do you get that's a great question of how do you get their name and number and number to follow up for sampling? There's two things. Either I will send them a sample and say, you know what, I need, like if I'm on the airplane, I'll say, you know what, I really want to send you a sample of an oil called Balance. I don't have any with me, but if I can get your phone number, I can text you and you can send me your address. Or I'll just say, you know what, I would love to give you the sample right here, but I'd love to get your phone number so I can text you and see how it's working for you and then give you some additional instructions. Because I want to make sure that that it's effective for you. So I just say something like that. I never give out a sample unless I get their information. Because if you hand out your sample and your card, that's great, but you'll never hear back. I've never had anybody take my card and contact me back. So you want to make sure you always get their information. That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge, huge. So we also have this list we need to share with people, but we're also going to be inviting to events because we have events set up for October. We want to invite people there. So are your events set so that you can invite? Yes, we do need to expand into other networks, their networks. So yes, you need to find hosts, but you need to constantly be doing your own events that you're inviting your own people to, because that pushes you to go out and make new friends, people that you can share with. So are your events set so that you can invite? And have you practiced how you would invite somebody? That's going to be huge. Are you going to fumble over your words the first few invitations? Totally. And is that okay? 100%. This is a learning process. So I would just practice, if somebody asks you what you do for work, you can say, you want to have something that you can just say, I teach classes on essential oils, or I'm a healthcare educator, or whatever you want to say. First of all, figure out what you're going to say and then practice saying it so it flows smoothly. So we have your list. We have people that we want to share with, but we need to invite people to these classes. So practice how you want to invite somebody. I like to keep it simple. I don't want to, let me go back to my share guide. I want to make sure that I am confident and super simple with how I invite. So I will just even go up to someone and say, hey, have you ever tried essential oils before? And they'll say yes or no, and then you can have a conversation. If they say yes, don't freak out and think, oh my gosh, they already used doTERRA. They might use doTERRA, but they still may not even have their own account. So I just say, oh, that is so great. So you use doTERRA. That's so awesome. Do you have a favorite oil? And a lot of times they'll say, well, yeah, my friend gave me a bottle of Breathe, but I haven't really done anything with it. Or they'll say, oh, I have a family physician kit. I'll say, oh my goodness, that is so amazing. So you got a wholesale account, so you get to enjoy these at a super good deal, right? I'll just say something like that. And you have to say things that you feel natural saying. But I ask questions instead of just assuming. So I just simply ask them if they want to come to my class. I just hand them a sample. So I'll say, hey, Sarah, I've been thinking a lot about you. I am going to be doing an essential oil class at my house, and I would love to invite you. Do you have plans Tuesday at 7? No, I don't. I'll be like, oh my goodness, that's so amazing. Well, I'm super excited that you're going to be able to come. So I want to make sure that you have a chance to try these oils before you come, just so that you feel like you're in the know when you get there. So I'm going to give you a sample of Breathe. Now, I know that you have been struggling with bronchitis for a while, so I wanted to give you a sample of Breathe that will help to support your respiratory system. That's going to be something I think will be a lot of help for you. So here's a sample of Breathe. And then my class is Tuesday at 7 p.m. and I'd love for you to come. And then I get a commitment, so that will work for you, right? I don't say right, but I'll say that will work for you, and they'll, yeah, that works. And I'll say, oh, that's so awesome. Now, I'll let them know I'm going to be reminding you 2 days before, just because I know life gets busy, it gets crazy. I'll give you a reminder so that you can remember to show up, and I'll give them a call 2 days before. Now, when I remind them, I don't ask if they're coming. I just say, I am so excited to see you. I know that you've been using that Breathe and loving it, and I'm super excited for you to learn about even a couple more products that I think will be interesting for you. The next thing that I do is text them 2 to 4 hours before the event. So sometimes you have a 10 a.m. class, you don't want to be texting people at 6 a.m., but you could even do 8 a.m. might work, and just say, hey, I'm super excited to see you. You can park on the left side of the street, or, give them a little bit of an instruction so they don't just feel like, oh, she's just reminding me, or, you can give an instruction about where to park, or, I have some balloons out so that you can see where the turn is, or when you come, make sure you come to the front door, or when you come, you can just walk in. You can give them some sort of reminder or instruction. So that's how I remind them to come. So I call them 2 days before, and then I remind them by text 2 to 4 hours before. Now, I like to avoid showing my insecurities when I'm inviting. So what that is for some people, they'll say, oh, but you don't need to buy anything. Now, I do have open houses where there is zero pressure to buy anything. That is simply a time to come and look at the product. Now, classes, I will have a close. I will offer and show people how to buy oils. I'm not going to tell people there's no pressure to buy, because I want you to use these oils because I know how amazing they are. So of course I'm not going to like do some hard sell where you have to buy anything, and I'm going to be very effective in my close, but yes, it's going to be a great opportunity to buy oil. So I'll never tell people, oh, there's no pressure to buy, or, you can just come. I don't really know anything about them. And I don't know. I mean, I just figured I'd invite you. Well, be confident. Tell them why you wanted to invite them and be confident in the product. Even if you feel like you don't know much about it, that's okay. You don't have to be an expert to have confidence and invite confidently and say, you know what? I am so excited about these oils. In fact, I am just learning about them myself. And so I've invited this girl who is amazing and knows so much. And I know how much you like natural health care. So I wanted you to come and listen to her too, because I knew you would be super excited about her. So make sure that you're positive about it, and just keeping it super, super simple. Sometimes people can get nervous and talk. I did a one-on-one over the phone. It was a 3-way call with my friend, and she was introducing the oils to her friend. And I was trying to ask her friend questions, and the girl that I was on the call with was talking so much that the girl couldn't even get a word in edgewise. I know you'd be totally good at this, and I know that you're in school and all that, but you know what? You would just be amazing. Like, she just kept going and going and going and going and going and going. And I was like, okay, stop. Now, it's nobody on this call or that will be listening to this training, because subsequently she's not building anymore. She was so nervous about it that it didn't work for her, because she kept, vomiting on them. Like, people are like, I don't even know. Like, you're not even letting me make a decision or ask you questions. So just keep it super simple, super confident. And these are some great things that you could say. Are you open to learning more about essential oils? And I love asking people, I love inviting people and just asking, I love asking people if they want to learn more about essential oils. Now, avoid Facebook invitations. They're tempting because they're easy, and it's an easy way to invite a lot of people. But I know that in this last week, I've been invited to 2 lip sense groups, 4 LuLaRoe groups, and 2 Usborne Books groups. And that's a lot. And that's great. And, if I don't want to be in the group, I just silently leave. I'm not upset with the person, but I just think, you know what? You don't care about me. You just want me to buy your product. And I like to feel cared about. And I realize that some of those other companies have, that Facebook and that kind of invitation does work well. So that's okay. doTERRA is different. And this isn't just a buy a one-time product and just, there you go. Like, it takes some educating. It's showing you how to use it, and sampling and sharing. So like inviting someone to a Facebook group, it's not going to be as effective. And inviting on Facebook is certainly not going to be as effective as well. Like I said, I get invited to so many groups, and, a lot of times I'm so torn, because I'm like, oh man, I love that product and I want to support that friend, but I get invited to so much that it gets hard. So we don't want to add to that. People feeling like, I've been invited to so many things on Facebook. It's crazy. And, and then I get people inviting me to groups I haven't talked to in years. And it's like, are you going to even ask how I'm doing? So avoid Facebook invitations. Now, Facebook invitations are an excellent way to remind. So I definitely use those to remind people. In fact, I use Facebook invitations for all of my business training. That's a little bit different. Now, for any sort of an event, I don't even create a Facebook event anymore. Now, I have people that do, and they invite their team to something. That's great. But don't be using that as a way to connect with people who aren't even on your team yet. You can remind them that way. So avoid inviting through mass email, group text, or generic Facebook invites. I'm sure you guys are all on your crazy Uncle Bob's email list, and you hear about whatever it is, his new company that he's doing or his new product that he's selling, and you just roll your eyes. So we don't want you to turn into crazy Uncle Bob. I love these. These are just tips that I love. Be energetic and share your excitement. Share the benefits of experiencing a presentation. Invite them to come to a live or an online class. And then I like giving people 2 options. I'll say, you know what? I know you're totally busy right now, so I have 2 opportunities available to come to a class. So I'm actually doing an open house this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. at my house. We're having a French toast brunch. I'm going to use oils in the French toast. It's amazing. If that doesn't work for you, I totally get it. I'm doing something the next Thursday, 7 p.m. We're going to be doing an intro class. So you'll have a chance to learn like the basics of essential oils and how to use them. Super easy, super fun. You'll love it. I keep it super simple, energetic, give them 2 options. So these just give you ideas of how to remind. Now, we could go through things not to do, but I don't want to focus just on the negative. I want to focus on the positive. So these are good positive ways to invite and things that you want to do. Okay. So back to our assignments now. Oh, presenter view. Oops, bless my heart. I always do funny things. There we go, your assignments. So I want you guys to all set your intentions for the month. How many classes do you want this month? Do you want 2? Do you want 4? Is 1 a good pace for you? I mean, whatever works for you is great, but set your intentions for the month. So how many classes do you want this month? And then how many samples do you want to get out? And I love Boyd Truman is a double presidential diamond. And he said, if you're running out of contacts, find more people to serve. I thought that was such an amazing thing that he said. So I love that. So decide how many people do I want to give a sample to this month? Those are new people. And you just created your names list, your job, and you should be focusing on adding 5 to 10 more people a week that you want to share with. Names will come to you. You'll meet more people. I mean, I've met about 100 people just since I've moved here. There's constantly new people that you're coming into contact with. So keep adding to that names list. But I do want you to have an intention of how many samples am I going to hand out this month? And you can break it down on a weekly basis. And then, okay, how many people am I going to invite to each class? My ideal class size is like 5 to 7. It's fun to have huge classes, but it's hard to get to everybody. And then I've had it where everybody's sitting around wanting to talk to me, and then I can't get to everyone fast enough, so people start leaving. So I like 5 to 7, unless there's somebody else there who can come and help close the class. And we'll talk about that next week. So you're going to set your intentions for the month, and then you are going to prioritize your names list utilizing the launch guide. So you're going to follow exactly what it says in there. You're going to share samples with 5 to 10 people this week. If you do 2, you can submit your homework twice. So you'll be entered into the drawing twice. So if you want to just do 5, that's great. If you want to do 10, you can enter twice. And then I want you to invite 20 people to your class. And I put an E on class because I thought that would make it really fancy. Just kidding. We'll fix it. Okay, so you're inviting 20 people to your class. And really my biggest assignment for you is to stay positive and stay happy and realize discouragement will happen. You'll have people tell you no. You'll have people reject you. You'll have people turn you down. And you'll have people turn you down in ways that are tacky, that make you feel bad. But I always remember, you know what? There is somebody out there looking for a solution for their health problem. There is somebody out there literally praying for a better financial situation or a different job that allows them to be home with their kids. There are people out there literally begging, pleading, and looking for this solution, even if they don't know that right away that doTERRA is going to be the solution for finances or health or both. There are people looking for this. I'm not going to let those people who are struggling with life or feeling negative about themselves control my success. So somebody may be rude to me when I invite them to my class. I'm not going to let that person's rudeness, I'm not going to let their bad day control me and keep me from sharing with someone who's literally begging and pleading and looking for this. This is such an amazing opportunity for your health, for your finances. I mean, I've made so many friends doing doTERRA, and there are times like I've had some people say some really ugly things to me, and it's okay because I've influenced way more lives than I have had people tear me down. And it happens, but I'm not going to let them control my success. And it is hard sometimes to invite because sometimes people tell you no, and it's okay. It's okay. And hey, at least you know that's a person that right now you maybe don't want to be connecting with them because they're not in a great place to be friendly. So there you go. You know that person may be someone you don't want to be around right now. So keep your head up. Realize this is awesome. You have an amazing thing to share. And you're learning an amazing way to share it. So be proud of what you're doing. Be confident. You're going to change lives. And that is so amazing. So amazing. There's nothing more rewarding than that. All right. So last week's winner for the assignment was Kristen Fry. I don't know if you're on, Kristen, but you won the emotional aromatherapy kit, which is like my favorite thing ever. So as soon as your October order processes, email Bree, and then we will get that out to you. And then this week's prize are 100, I don't know, who knows. I'm giving away 100 PV of my favorite fall oils with a diffuser. My favorite way to use oils in the fall is diffusing them. It smells like Thanksgiving or Halloween or I don't know in my house all the time in the fall, and I love it. So there will be like a cassia in there, wild orange, cedarwood, ginger, clove. Those are my favorite fall oils. So you'll be getting some of those. And Bree will be posting the link for the home. So before we wrap things up,